Good morning and welcome. I am Dr. Mary Bell, Dean of the Beacom College of Computer and Cyber Sciences at Dakota State University. Before we begin our conversation today, I would like to briefly highlight the importance of the partnership that we are discussing. The alliance between the United States and the Republic of Korea is one of the most enduring and successful security partnerships in modern history. Since the signing of the Mutual Defense Treaty in 1953, our nations have stood together in defense of peace and stability on the Korean Peninsula and throughout the Indo-Pacific. Over the past 73 years, that alliance has expanded beyond traditional military cooperation to include economic partnerships, scientific collaboration, and increasingly cooperation in cyberspace and emerging technologies. It is my privilege today to welcome President Han. Dr. Han serves as the 7th president of the Seoul Media Institute of Technology in Seoul, South Korea. His career spans military service, national defense research, industry leadership, and academia. He previously served as a brigade commander in the Republic of Korea Army Intelligence Command and held senior roles in national defense research and policy, including leadership with the Korea Institute of Defense Analysis and service as a science advisor to the Minister of National Defense. Dr. Han is the founder of South Korea's military cybersecurity efforts, having established the foundations of those capabilities early in their development. President Han has been a strong advocate for integrating artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and digital media innovation into higher education and for building international partnerships that prepare students to address the security challenges of the future. President Han, it is an honor to welcome you, and I look forward to our conversation today.
Me too.
You have had a remarkable career that spans military service, national defense research, industry leadership, and academia. Could you please tell us about your journey and what ultimately led you to higher education as your role as the president of the Seoul Media Institute of Technology?
Actually, is my journey is already 70 years. I was born in 1955, so United States and Korea alliance already 70 years. Is we are all the same ages, yes. But if you asked my journey, then maybe I can summarize my journey as two words. One is imaginations, and the other is essence. When I was a cadet, I believe I want to be a good military officers. That was my dream. But when I met the one Nobels, Exodus, I realized the soldier can be a scholar, and a scholar can protect the nations by technologies. That visions guided me to the United States. When I make my dream, 1974, but after serving as my company commander at the 28th Infantry Divisions in the MG line at 1984. After 10 years, I was a student at Caltech. It's amazing. It's a military cadet make a dream, and then after 10 years, something happens. After studying the scholars' ways, my whole trajectory of life is changed. After finishing my studies, I can have a chance to reconstruct Korean military structures. At Caltech, their professor, Richard Feynman, I met him in class. He taught me to seek a sense of things. You know the name of many birds. Does not means you know the bird. Actually, his father told it to him. And in bookstores, I met one posters is Einstein's posters. There is one paragraph. Imagination is more important than the knowledge is. At that times in Korea, nobody says about that things. When I go to the United States, all my professors says learn more technologies. But Einstein says imagination is more important than the knowledge is. Actually, these two paragraphs was the essence of my scholastic approaches. So after return to Korea, I can have a chance to make industrial-based military. They change it to the information-based structures, and also I can make a chance to make cyber command. After founding a cyber command, I was 60 years of brigade commanders, and I designed in the military cyber powers and enhancing the capabilities. That was my first step about the cyber securities. But as you know, I'm a military, so the point of view is national protections. But in the cyber point of views, one nation cannot protect by himself. So especially alliance of cyber domain is so important. I'm still not forget. I'm a scholar. So now I'm in the industry. I have my own companies. So one is EMP gun to protect the swap drones. So that's a critical technologies, I believe. And the other thing is moving target defense for resilience in cyber. And the other thing, recently I published 3 papers in the Journal of Mathematics is the applications, is homomorphic encryptions. So now I'm a president, but also policymakers, and I'm a military officer still.
Yeah, wow, there is so much in there, and what an incredible history. As I think about that, I also have a very similar mindset with my background in the military. I also think of myself as a military officer, and we have that shared experience. Whenever my first duty station when I was on active duty after I finished flight school was in Korea. And when I think about that shared experience, I think about when I was there in the early 90s and what you were doing as well in the early 90s. I know we didn't meet while I was there, but think about that shared experience and maybe how some of our mindsets are similar in that. So when you think about kind of where you were in the early 90s, I know that Kim Il-sung, the founder and longtime leader of North Korea, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, died in 1994, which was a very, very tense time period. I remember everybody mobilizing because we didn't know what that change of power was going to look like. Whenever you think back to that time specifically, what are some of your memories as far as when you think about the physical national defense and how that mattered for your nation?
At that times, I was a lieutenant colonel working in the KAIDA, Korea Institute of Defense Analysis. At that times, I'm concentrated on the how to change the Korean military structure for the information societies. So at that time, I made the Bureau of Information Systems in Korea, M&D, and Cyber Command. At that time was a dreamlike era for me. I can make a chance with my dream and become realize true powers and military powers. That times I was 40 ages. It was a fantastic eras.
That's really neat. You know, we think about everything that happens. It could be a threat, but it's also an opportunity. And I love that you saw that as an opportunity, like such a big change and what that meant, and how you took that as an opportunity rather than it's a threat, but it's a threat that allows us to expand on those opportunities. So that's really amazing. Very neat.
Of course, military concentrate the threat, but some part of a military person must be see the opportunities.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, that's great. I taught for many years at the National Defense University here in the United States.
Yes.
And that's one thing we always talk about is opportunities and threats and how do you look at those differently. So I appreciate you bringing those together. That's really great. You also mentioned that you went to Caltech and you were, I believe, the first to get your doctorate from Korea at Caltech. Is that?
It's for my master degrees.
Master degree, okay. And what were you studying?
Double E.
Okay.
At that times,
Electrical
every
engineering.
young man study to double E.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
And I would think about what that means for your nation to be able to come to the United States, study, get your master's degree in that field, and how that influenced then your future and becoming a soldier scholar, really becoming a soldier scholar.
Actually, knowledge it can be studied in Korea also, but in United States educations, not only transfer the knowledges, but also there is some kind of essence as to why we have to learn some things. There is some kind of gap at the times. Yes.
Yeah, and you mentioned the quote by Einstein and how imagination, and it was just something that you hadn't really thought about before. And like, yes, I have the knowledge, I have the technical expertise, but how do I apply imagination to problems that allow us to look at them very differently? So that's I think that was very mind-opening for you.
Already 40 years ago, it's a long histories. I forget the all of knowledges when I studied in the classroom, but still that two paragraph is a guide of my next step. Yes.
Yeah, like it became.
And I think that's a real difference, and that make real value in the practice. Some things.
Yeah, that's really great. I know we like to say around here that if you have the hardest problems, one of the best places to take them is to students, because they do have imagination and they think about differently how to solve problems. And maybe because I've been dealing with a problem for so long and I have so much information, it's harder for me to be creative, even though I still try to be creative. But students, I think, have that a little more naturally. So thinking about that and then how to make sure that becomes part of who you are with your creativity and
actually,
use
I was
imagination.
lucky. Actually, I was lucky because I can get the imagination from the great scholars. That change is my Lord. Yes.
Yeah, that's really great.
I'm really thanks for the American scholars. Yes.
So South Korea and the United States both face really persistent cyber threats. And when you think about this program and this partnership that we're developing, Why do you think that developing that type of knowledge and that type of thinking, cybersecurity professionals, developing the workforce, you did that with the military by creating the Korean Cyber Command. Why is that education element so important when you're thinking about cybersecurity?
Actually, on my knowledge is the last 15 years, every years in SCM, the high-level officers, as the United States and the Korean officers, agree, let's do the cyber corporations. But until next years, no step further. One example, maybe 6 years ago, the United States, the Minister of Defense, maybe he visited Korea, and the United States Embassy is all employer to the all employers. Why United States and South Korea Cyber Corporation cannot go to the folders? So one man, I believe he is a policy special staff in U.S. embassies. He asked me why, and so I told him the cyber corporation start from the human to human, not the high officer signing cannot make the some things. So first layer and the essence of corporation is human bindings through the educations. So that was my dream at the time. But because of your help, so I can make my dreams. Thank you again.
Yeah. So that's perfect. 'Cause when I think about that, you reached out to us, to Dakota State University, and we've been working for almost 2 years together on creating this.
Sure.
It took quite a while to get it through. Took some convincing because of the process we go through here in South Dakota. But what led you to Dakota State University? Why did you think that was the right partner, that we are the right partner for the SMIT?
Actually, is many universities they teach the cybersecurity some things. It's a technology point of views, but your university is something different, especially in the real world problem based educations, the practical capabilities, and the national defense some things. On my point of views. That is objectives of why we studied the technologies. So without that layers, just learning the knowledge cannot make a valuable result. So I want to come to here.
It's interesting because as we work to build the program, whenever your faculty shared the curriculum with us, there was so much overlap, and that made us so easy and so possible to offer that dual master's degree. Because of the overlap. Our students would be taking a class here, but it's a class that you also offer exact same topics. And so that led us to then to a much easier pathway to both our master's and our doctoral programs. So we didn't, but you couldn't have known that before you started this, but I think you saw the vision of the practical application and how important that is. And I think competitions also played a big part in it because your students are such great competitors. And I think our students also love to compete. So that's part of it as well. So with that, whenever you think about the pathways of your students into those master's and PhD programs here, how do you think that is going to help the defense, the cybersecurity, improving that within South Korea? How do you think that will help the workforce development?
As you already know, the cybersecurity is not only for the one person, one companies. Is a cyber spaces. In the cyber spaces, everything is in here. That's the national securities. So our pathway program can make human tide, digitalizations of human tide. I think that's so important things. Second is technological interoperabilities. Without us speak with the same languages, we cannot protect our system. So actually, this kind of educational cooperation make interoperabilities for the national defense. And finally, it will be some kind of the mission shares. So this education is not only just the educational programs, but also for the futures bindings, the human binding, national alliance bindings. Actually, 2023 is the president level strategic alliance on things. At that time, I was in Washington to support my president. Yes, so that was my dream.
Wow.
The strategic cyber alliance was my dream from the 2003 force. So it's unbelievable. My dream is realized.
Yeah.
With someone help.
So when it was signed in 2023 between the two presidents, you were present there.
Yeah, of
Oh
course.
my gosh,
Yes,
I didn't realize that.
yes.
That is really amazing. What a momentous.
I recommend this so long times.
Wow.
We have to expand our traditional alliance to the cyber.
Yeah.
Some things, yes.
Wow, that is absolutely
Yes.
fantastic. And with that, when you think about the broader ecosystem between our nations, you really hit on it, that there's no such thing as cybersecurity by yourself.
Sure,
It's
of
so
course.
interrelated, and what happens with you, what happens with us, it's interrelated, and there's no way to separate those.
Sure.
So if we're not working together, we're both weaker for it. So I think that's a really, really important point.
Actually, in cyberspace, there is no border geographically, but there is strong borders of the trust. So alliance means without the trust, even we are the alliance, there are some kind of borders.
Yeah.
So study and the research together, and meet a friend is a lifelong friend. That's so important in the cyber alliance for next 30 years.
Yeah.
Yes, then that times maybe I become 100-year-old man. Yes. And the U.S.-Korea alliance is 100 alliance.
Right, right.
So
It's almost the
at
same
this
age.
time is the right time to prepare for the next 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yes. So let's go back to the competitions. We talked about that a little bit. Both your students and our students really do love to compete. I think that's going to be so neat as they get to know each other. But when you think about research and how your students, the Korean students with the U.S. students or the Dakota State University students are working together in research, how do you think that partnership in research will also contribute to national security?
I think after resigning president positions, I will join this program to adjust our research directions. It's not divergence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to focus the research. Even we are apart is from Korea to United States,
Yeah.
But we are under the hyperconnectivity societies.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great. And my question next was really talking about the future, but you already answered it when you talked about, I was going to say 5 or 10 years, but you already went 30 years into the future with your answer and how you see this just developing and what it's going to mean for the nations coming together in that
Yes,
domain, in the
sure.
cyber domain, and what it means for our future. And it
Yeah.
is going to be really, really interesting to see what the next 30 years
Sure,
brings.
sure,
But
sure.
we're excited to see what that looks like together.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
together.